So the next project for the 240, I'm going to be restoring the whole brake system. You don't really need to go with massive brakes on 240s. We already did the Z32 upgrade like 15 years ago. These brakes work surprisingly well on the S chassis. They're made to stop a lot heavier car, so when you put them on S chassis with the front and rear, you get really well brake balance, along with pretty good stopping. During this restoration, I am also going to be upgrading to the 350Z Brembo rotors. GKTech makes these billet adapters. We'll see how well they work. They seem to be pretty simple and self-explanatory to install them. It's just an adapter that bolts to your knuckle and moves the caliper out the proper distance to fit the larger diameter rotor. So you get these two billet adapters, 4 bolts and some washers. It's super simple kit, kind of expensive, but it is billet aluminum. It does feel to be pretty good quality. I have not heard anything bad about it, so excited to put that on. Also, I'm throwing some new brake lines on. I do have steel braided on there, but again, they're 15 years old, and they're red, so she's pretty picky on how things look on her car, and might as well just keep everything with the right now, which is mainly just a silver and black on the car. Her subframe is powder coated the same color as these calipers, so they're going to match. Same thing with the sway bars, and everything that we pull off this car usually gets powder coated and put back on. So slowly making everything flow in unity. New brake pads. I'm restoring the entire brake system. New master cylinder. Everything but the hard lines is going to be replaced. The car never came with ABS from the factory, so it's a non-ABS car. Don't have to worry about that. But I'm excited to try these out. The website does note on these adapters something about if you're using the factory knuckle or factory strut mounting points, that you have to flip these somehow. So when I get to that, I'll see if I can point that out, because they do have a install instruction video, and it does not mention that in the video, but it does mention it in the sale ad. So if I run into any kind of issue where I can spot that, I'll let you know. But it is on coilovers, so I don't know if that affects it. It's at the stock strut mounting location like it mentions. We don't have aftermarket knuckles or anything on there, so I guess we'll see when I get there. I'm not going to do a how-to video because GKTech has a pretty good how-to video. Like I mentioned, they just don't mention the whole flipping the bracket thing to fit the stock strut mounting location. I just want to show you a little comparison, the difference between the standard Z32 rotor and the 350Z Brembo package here. This is what we're upgrading to with the GKTech adapter kit. You can tell here, I think these are about 11 inches. That's about 12 3/4 inches, give or take. You can see it's pretty significant. I'm hoping this doesn't throw the brake balance off too much. It shouldn't. It'll have a little bit more in the front. We do have a lot wider tires than factory, but excited to feel the difference on these. So this is the way they mount it in the GKTech video, and it will bolt up to the knuckle this way. The issue you have is if you do have stock strut mount location like I do, this top caliper bolt runs into this strut bolt there. So there's no way to actually put the bolt through, and that's what they're talking about. So when they say flip the bracket, I assume they may use the left side for the right side and vice versa, because if you flip the bracket the other way, it's going to put these on the other side, which is going to offset the caliper and not fit on the rotor. So I think they just mean switch to the second bracket here and mount it like that. That way it rotates the whole caliper away from the strut. So let me do that and I'll get back to you. Here it is with the bracket rotated. You can see it moves the caliper in a more vertical position, away from the knuckle. When you move it down, I ran into this issue. So the hole does clear the dust shield, but that's not the issue. The caliper mounts on this side of the bracket, and you can kind of see they're kind of meaty around here. So what you really want, but it ends up hitting the dust shield here. So I'm going to have to trim it back here in order to fit the meat of the caliper here and clear the dust shield. These dust shields have already been trimmed for Z32 rotors. These are the factory S14 ones, and they usually have a lip that comes over to slightly cover the factory rotors, but I pretty much just cut that lip off a long time ago. But it looks like I'm going to have to trim this just a little bit more to fit the caliper. So here's the finished product. Rotors mounted, calipers mounted. I also replaced the studs with some new ARPs lengthened. I'm going to put some spacers on for the SSRs just to get a little bit better fitment. So rather have longer, stronger studs. New lines, new everything front and back. Excited to try these things out, but I'd say the kit's pretty nice, and I'll report back down the road to see how these actually work. So here's the finished product. Don't have too many miles on them yet. We did the initial bed in for the brake pads. Did some pretty hard stops after they were broken in, a few more drives, and I'm pretty pleased with them. There's not a considerable difference over stock, but it is noticeable. It doesn't feel out of balance. Very controllable. I think this mix with the proper master cylinder made the biggest difference. One big plus just with this car in general, this has 18-inch wheels, so this disc fills up the wheels a lot better than the stock diameter brake rotors. But yeah, I'd say overall I'm pleased with the kit, and it's a reasonable upgrade for the 240s.